Have you ever felt that little ache in your hip when you get up from the couch? That feeling like your body needs a moment to warm up before you can walk properly? If that has happened to you, know that you are not alone. This is far more common than most people realize among those who have reached their 60s and 70s, and there is a reason it happens. More importantly, there is something you can do about it. The hip is one of the most important joints in our entire body. It carries the weight of everything we are. It keeps us upright, lets us walk, climb a step, sit on the edge of the bed, and pick something up off the floor. When it hurts or feels stiff, everything in daily life becomes harder. And sadly, many people simply accept this as just part of getting older and figure there is nothing to be done. But that is not quite true. The good news is that small changes in the movements you already make every single day, like getting up from a chair, bending down, sleeping, or walking through the house, can make an enormous difference in how your hip feels. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you today: how to protect your hip during the simplest activities of daily life without needing a gym membership, expensive equipment, or anything complicated whatsoever. Before we go any further, if this is the kind of content that helps you feel better and live with more energy, go ahead and subscribe to this channel right now and hit that notification bell. Every week, we share information just like this, put together with a lot of care and thought for you. Let us start by understanding one simple thing. Why does the hip tend to struggle so much as the years go by? Over time, the cartilage that cushions and protects the hip joint gradually gets thinner. Think of it like the shock absorbers on a car wearing down little by little. The muscles surrounding the joint can also become weaker and the ligaments less flexible. The result is that movements that used to be completely automatic, like sitting down, standing up, or bending over, now take more effort and sometimes bring pain along with them. What most people do not realize is that the majority of hip pain does not come out of nowhere. It comes from small habits repeated every single day in ways that put unnecessary stress on the joint. And when we correct those habits, the hip often responds with relief almost right away. So let us talk through each of these everyday situations one by one. Getting up from a chair or the sofa is one of the moments when the hip takes the most strain. You know that feeling when you've been sitting for a while, and the moment you try to stand, there's that difficulty, that effort all concentrated in one spot. This happens because most people stand up without thinking about it at all. They just push the body upward using mostly the lower back, putting a huge amount of stress directly on the hip joint. The safer way to stand up is actually quite simple. First, slide yourself toward the front edge of the seat so you're not deep in the cushion. Then, place both feet flat on the floor, roughly shoulder-width apart. Next, lean your upper body slightly forward, almost as if you were about to give someone a gentle hug. Then, use the strength in your thighs and your backside to push yourself up. If you need to, press your hands on the armrests for support. Rise slowly, without any rush. This movement spreads the effort much more evenly across your body, relieving the concentrated pressure on the hip and lower back. It may seem like a small detail, but think about how many times a day you stand up from a chair or the couch. Done correctly each time, it adds up to a real difference. Walking around the house seems almost too simple to cause any trouble. But it is precisely because it is so automatic that certain habits sneak in without us noticing. One of the most common is shuffling the feet along the floor. When you shuffle as you walk, the hip stays in a state of constant tension without the natural rhythmic movement it needs to stay healthy and comfortable. Try paying a little attention to your steps. Lift each foot off the ground with every step, even just a little bit. Walk with your eyes looking gently ahead rather than straight down at the floor. Keep your shoulders relaxed and loose. And if you feel you need extra support to move safely around the house, using a cane or a walker is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of wisdom. It is protecting your hip from a fall that could cause a much more serious problem down the road. Bending down to pick something up off the floor is another moment where the hip is at real risk. How many times a day do you reach down for something? A slipper that slid under the chair, something that rolled off the counter? your dog or cat nudging your hand for some affection. The most common mistake is bending forward at the waist with the legs kept straight, dumping all of the body's weight suddenly onto the lower back and hip at once. The right way looks quite different. Step close to the object, bend your knees as if you were slowly sitting down onto a low chair, keep your back straight, and then reach for the item. If you need something to hold on to for balance, a wall or a sturdy piece of furniture works perfectly. Bending this way shares the work between your knees, your hip, and your spine in a much more balanced and safe way. And if the object is heavy or difficult to reach, please ask for help without any embarrassment. No amount of pride is worth a hip injury. Stairs deserve extra care and attention. When going up, place your entire foot on the step, not just the toes, and hold the handrail firmly. Take one step at a time and do not rush. When coming down, be even more careful because the force that travels through the hip and knee is actually greater going downstairs than going up. Descend slowly. Keep that handrail in your hand, and if you feel unsteady, there is absolutely no shame in taking it one step at a time with both feet before moving to the next one. Maybe you're thinking right now, if I do all of this so slowly, it's going to take me forever to get anything done. And I completely understand that feeling. But the honest truth is that with a little practice, these movements become natural within just a few days. Your body learns quickly. What feels deliberate and careful today will soon become second nature. Here is something that surprises a lot of people. The position you sleep in also affects your hip. Those who sleep on their side, which is very common, often wake up with soreness in the hip that was pressed against the mattress all night. The solution is wonderfully simple and costs almost nothing. Place a pillow between your knees when you sleep on your side. This small adjustment aligns your hip, your spine, and your knees, relieving the pressure and allowing you to sleep with far greater comfort. If you sleep on your back, tucking a pillow under your knees also helps reduce tension in the hip and lower back through the night, a tiny change and a genuinely meaningful relief. Standing in the kitchen for an extended period, like when you are washing dishes or cooking a meal, also wears on the hip over time. A tip that works beautifully well is placing a soft, non-slip mat in front of the sink and occasionally resting one foot on a small step stool or a low support while you stand. This simple trick reduces the strain on both the lower back and the hip considerably. There is also another habit worth building in the kitchen and throughout the house. Instead of twisting your upper body to reach something while your feet stay planted in place, turn your whole body by moving your feet in the direction of what you are reaching for. This protects the hip from small twisting forces that, even though they feel minor in the moment, can lead to inflammation and lingering discomfort over time. Look at everything we covered today, and all of it happens right inside your own home, within your own daily routine. Standing up from a chair with intention, walking with your feet lifted, bending down the right way, using the handrail on the stairs, sleeping with a pillow between your knees, and being mindful of your movements in the kitchen. None of these things require enormous effort. They require attention, and attention is something you already have in abundance. Taking care of your hip is not about resigning yourself to pain or limitation. It is the exact opposite. It is taking charge of your own well-being and deciding that you deserve to move through your days with more comfort, more confidence, and more ease. If this video was helpful to you, please subscribe to the channel and share it with someone you care about, a family member, a friend, a neighbor you know is dealing with the same kind of discomfort. You might be helping them more than you can imagine. And tell me in the comments, which one of these tips are you going to try today? I read every single message and I would love to hear from you. See you in the next video.